Thanks for stopping in and checking out my video. But today's video is going to be how to remove any stud that is threaded into your workpiece. And I want to give you 3 different ways to do it. Now this is a wheel bearing out of a 2004 Ford F550. And I've actually done this job like 2 weeks ago, but I figured I'd make a video. But the shop that had replaced these the last time, they couldn't get the studs out because the wheel bearing usually doesn't come with the studs, and so they couldn't get the wheel bearing out. So what they done was they cut through the casting, which is all right if if you're really careful. But what they had done is they had cut into the casting and halfway through the stud, and then they, instead of getting new studs, they reused the old ones. And when I started removing these studs, pretty much the threads stayed in the casting, and it just destroyed the studs. So I had to get all new studs, but I'm still going to show you how to remove these. And these are this particular wheel bearing hub here is very difficult because, like I say, the studs are cut into the threads, and it makes them really frozen on this one. But you can see that these have not been, well, we might focus here in a minute. Anyways, yeah, these studs haven't been out. I just removed this one when I done the job, and I realized that it was beyond repair. But anyways, let me set you up on a tripod and show you. But the first way I want to show you, and I'm going to use air tools, but hand tools will work too. It's just a little more aggravating. But what you want to do is thread the nut down as far as you can get it on the stud, and then thread the other nut behind it, and then tighten them against each other as tight as you can get them. And then you can take the top nut and back it out just like you're taking the nut off, and it'll bring the stud with it because the two are jammed together. And then once you get the stud out, you just hold the bottom one with a wrench and either put a impact gun or another wrench or something on top of it and just break them loose. And that's a non-destructive way to remove the studs. That way you can reuse them on whenever you go to replace them. But 2 other ways to do it is say if this stud is really stubborn and stuck, and for whatever reason this top nut just keeps coming off, or if you just can't get this to work for whatever reason, like I say, which I've always had it work, but we'll just do some hypothetical situations here. But another thing you can do is screw this nut about halfway on, and then weld, if you have a welder, weld the nut to the stud and then take it off, so that way it's no way of twisting, but it'll destroy the stud. Or I'll show you another way. I'm actually going to cut this stud off, or I'll do it to this one because I'm going to take this one out this way. But I'm going to cut this stud off, and I'll show you a way to do it. If for some reason you're trying to remove a threaded dowel or something, and it doesn't have threads to even mess with, or if you've actually snapped the stud off. So in that situation, I've already found a nut, but in that situation you would find a nut that's actually bigger than the stud, and you would put it on there about that far and weld, clean the stud up in the nut real good so you get a good weld, strong weld, and you just weld that to it. Of course, put it this way, and you would weld the dowel or the stud to it, and then just take it out that way. So, all right, I'll show you all 3 ways. Let me get the camera set up here. All right, I think I've got you all set up where you won't fall. No promises though. All right, I took some nail polish and put a little mark on the stud. That way, whenever I start backing this out, you will see that it's going to turn. But so I ran this one down. Now I want to take this nut, run it on top of it. Now all I want to do is hold this bottom nut and tighten this top nut into it. course I'm doing it on camera, so my wrench is going to get stuck. Now I may have to turn the camera off and turn my compressor back on because I'm just running this off a little pancake compressor and it is noisy. But we'll see what we got. So see, now where the threads on here are cut up and stuff, it's not going to get easy. It's going to do that the whole way out. But under normal circumstances, as soon as it would break loose, it should just spin right out. And then I'll probably have to plug the compressor back up to show you, but maybe not. But after you're done, all you do is just, hold this bottom nut again, take this top nut off, and then you have successfully removed that stud without damaging anything. And then you can reuse it, of course. Alright, now I want to show you the other way I was talking about over here, and which I'm not going to show you the way of putting this nut on here and welding it, because it's going to be the same even if the stud's cut off or not. It's still the same basic principle. So let me get set up on that and I'll show you. Alright, now I've cut this stud off to kind of what you'd run into if you was to break this stud off. If you was to be taking a nut off for some reason, the stud broke, or if it's just a dowel itself, it'll just be smooth. What you do is you find a nut that's a bigger diameter than the stud itself, and it'll slip over it like that. And you can see what you want to do is you want to put the nut about, give or take, about 3/4 of the way down. So you want to pocket on the inside to where you can get a good penetration on weld. And so I'm going to weld this up real quick, and then we'll brush it off and let it cool down, and then we'll see if we can pull this thing out. Watch your eyes, YouTube. Alright. Hopefully that didn't kill my camera. But, so we got that welded up, so what we'll do now is let this cool off, and while I'm doing that I'm going to brush the top of that weld off and stuff. But alright, I got a little bit impatient, so I just doused it with water. But now let's see if we'll have any luck bringing this off. Like a charm. Maybe. Oh, this camera's focus is horrible. But see how somebody's cut through there before and got way into the stud and it just ruined the threads. But anyways, that's what I done there. Just kind of welded that up. Of course, when I weld something on camera, it's going to be probably one of the worst welds I've ever done. But anyways, it works. And you can see that was bringing it out. Like I say, the other way would be to, if you do have a threaded stud, is just to, run the nut down and weld it just like I did that and bring it out the same way. So that's, like I say, it's 3 ways. It's one way is non-destructive, 2 ways are destructive because it'll run the stud. But if the stud or the dowel is threaded into something that's really expensive or you can't find or something, then this is definitely the best alternative. So, alright, hope you guys learned something, and thanks for watching. Like and subscribe.